You are listening to Launchpad, a podcast produced by the Office of University Strategic Communications at the University of Texas at San Antonio. Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Launchpad. I'm your host, John Elizondo. I'm excited for you to meet our next guest today, but first, if you haven't already, I highly recommend you listen to the first 3 episodes of this podcast, where we have heard from university leaders about the exciting opportunities from our merger integration. In our last episode, we had a fantastic discussion about research with Dr. Jennifer Potter, and today we're excited to learn more about the academic trajectory of UT San Antonio. And we have found the perfect person to speak about this topic. Our next guest has more than 20 years of experience in higher education, worked her way up from assistant professor to provost to senior executive vice president for academic affairs. She was instrumental in helping UTSA achieve both its designations as a Carnegie R1 institution in 2021 and a Carnegie Opportunity College and University in 2025. She's a champion for student success and faculty excellence. Our guest today is Dr. Heather Shipley. Dr. Shipley, welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here today with you.
You know, we could have done a longer list of accomplishments for you, but we would have been here for a very long time. So I know people want to get started with this interview.
Yeah, no, I'm excited and to talk about what the integration is doing for us in San Antonio and at UT San Antonio.
Before we get into all of that, I do want people to learn a little bit more about you. And one of the things that I noticed when doing some research about you is that you've been a part of this community and at this university for about 2 decades now, or close to 2 decades. What is it about San Antonio, about this community, about the people that you work with every day that has led you to stay for so long and to be a part of it and help see it grow?
Yeah, I grew up at this university, so to see it change over the last almost 2 decades has been amazing. And I think part of that desire to stay here is the growth that we have and our pursuit of innovation and thinking about things differently. And so where we were when I started and where we are now has been such a wonderful trajectory. And it's just been so exciting to get to work with colleagues who are so committed to the mission and strategic destinations of this institution and continually want to do what is best for our students, for our faculty, and our staff. And so that is why I've really loved growing up here. And then also the San Antonio community. It really feels like home. It's a great place to raise a family, to interact with many different types of groups of people, and just a unique place in Texas.
Well, that's fantastic. And we are so lucky to have you here. But now let's talk integration. Now we're in integration mode, new university. Your title has changed a little bit, but has your role changed at all? And what is now part of that role with this integration?
As provost and senior executive vice president for academic affairs, I lead UT San Antonio's academic mission, and that hasn't changed. Overseeing 9 different colleges, 9 different academic support divisions, and the initiatives that we have in academic affairs that really are focused on advancing student success, faculty achievement, and research excellence. With this integration of the traditional institutions of UTSA and UT Health San Antonio, my role has really grown to align with the academic vision across both the Health Science Center campus and our broad portfolio of programs such as engineering, arts, business, education, and sciences. So at its core, the work is about ensuring our students have transformational opportunities, that our faculty and staff have the resources to reach their full potential, and that our community benefits from the knowledge and innovation that we generate in academic affairs.
That's interesting. And we think about what's happening now. There's a lot of changes, but at the same time, there's just so many opportunities that come of this. How is the academic vision evolving to reflect this integration?
So our vision is evolving, but the fundamentals are still there, which is student success, faculty excellence, and research excellence. The integration has really strengthened our commitment to being a comprehensive public research university that combines both access and excellence across every discipline. And that's what's so exciting about this integration. Really, the sum of these 2 institutions is greater than the individual institutions that were before. So you've probably heard it before, but 1 + 1 = 10. And that's really what this is about, is connecting fields in new ways, pairing data science with public health, thinking about engineering and sustainability, the arts with digital technologies, the arts with health, business with bioscience, to just name a few. Our vision is about preparing students to succeed in the rapidly changing economy, not just for today's careers, but for the jobs and challenges of our future.
Now, part of that evolution is an emphasized focus on health, as you mentioned. Is that right?
Yeah, so it really allows those opportunities connect fields that maybe wouldn't have done it or thought about doing it in ways to benefit society. So thinking about how does health and education now peer together, and where does that come in a different play than maybe when we were just thinking about our College of Education before?
What new opportunities do you see this merger creating for students, for faculty, and for the broader community?
Yeah, so I think there's so many opportunities ahead of us. And so I'll kind of take each one of those buckets a little bit. But for our students, it's going to expand the degree options that we have available over time as we come together and realize the strengths of the institution coming together as one. So thinking about dual and joint programs that we can add to our degree programs, thinking about those areas that I talked about before. What are the intersections of health and education, data science and public health, things of that nature. There's going to be more opportunities to study at the intersection of health and technology and policy. And then you're going to get access to world-class faculty at our campuses. And the type of research that we're doing is going to expand. And you're going to get greater exposure to clinical, laboratory, and community-based learning. That's really a part of the experiences that we want our students to have through that experiential learning. For our faculty, I think it's really about bringing together richer collaborations across the disciplines, working with people that maybe you hadn't thought about collaborating with before, particularly in areas like AI or healthcare, neuroscience, cancer research, education, public health. It's really going to give access to colleagues across our campuses and the resources and infrastructures that they have, and the opportunities to translate those discoveries and those new collaborations into real-world applications that benefit our community. I also think it's a way for us to recruit exceptional faculty, because now we have a comprehensive public research institution that has a strong health science center presence, along with a normal 4-year traditional institution. And that's only going to make it even more attractive for us to recruit high-quality faculty.
When we think about interdisciplinary studies, I think there are some things that are common that you could probably think about, whether it's tech and health, biosciences, but there's probably some new opportunities that people aren't thinking about, at least in the broader community. I know one of the ones that we had talked about was just even like music. The possibilities of now are music majors who have this opportunity that maybe there's a health component to what they're doing, for using it for therapy and things of that nature. Can you explain a little bit more about all the different resources that are here at both campuses?
Yeah, so I think it really lets us think about the future and how we think about care in general. And so I think arts is one way to do that, whether it's music or other types of art. So what is the therapy component that now can be a part of patient care because of this collaboration and this integration together? How can our students in art and music interact with our health science center students and think about the work that they're doing in a different way to impact the community and society as a whole? And the same back for our students who are studying medicine or studying their dental degree. How can they think about the arts and humanities in a new way and bringing that into their patient care? So I think there's a lot of opportunities to think about those traditional programs that you talked about with technology or how AI incorporates into healthcare, but also thinking about ways that we interact in ways that maybe aren't thought of traditionally, but are really going to change the aspects of how we conduct patient care or how students have exposure and then what they bring to their careers.
And I want to reiterate things that we have spoken about in the past, is that this is a multi-year process. This doesn't happen overnight. This is something that people are working on and are going to be working on for a few years. Obviously, there will be people that will be impacted, students who will be impacted, faculty be impacted now. But I think about just the possibilities for those people that are, or those students that are in middle school right now that will be attending UT San Antonio very soon down the road, and those opportunities that are going to grow for them. And that's really what we're looking at, right?
Yes, definitely. I think what we're doing now compared to where we are 5 years from now will be very different. And I think everybody kind of has that experience as you go back to your home university or your high school, and then it changes over the years. Same thing's going to happen with this integration. And you're just putting two powerhouses together and really creating amazing opportunities.
And not to mention all the things that were already happening leading up to this. I think about the College of AI and Cyber and Computing, and now the possibilities that grow out of that.
Yes, how we start to interact from both a research and curriculum level are definitely on the horizon.
So as I mentioned, it's a long process, and to require a smooth transition, it's not a small task. There's a lot of people working on this. How do you ensure that the academic infrastructure evolves to support the university's expanding opportunities and the complexity that comes with this integration?
So I think really thinking about how you build that strong infrastructure is ensuring that we just don't grow in size, but we're also thinking about the quality and innovation in our growth. And what does that mean? And how are we sustainable in doing that? So we're looking at our systems and our support to scale it with our growth and provide a seamless transition for our students, our faculty, and our staff. This is, as you said before, not an overnight change. It's going to take us several years. And so this is why we've put into place, if you visited our website about the integration, the many task force and working groups who are working on these types of activities, because it brings in our faculty and our staff and our students into this process. So for example, we have the Academic Student and Faculty Affairs Task Force and many working groups over the last year that we formed and many more to come that are really creating those roadmaps and prioritizing the activities that we need to meet the opportunities ahead as we bring this institution together. And so it's really thinking about collaborations across colleges and schools and allowing us to adapt and align our resources to support those needs to have that seamless transition for our faculty, staff, and students.
And I want to kind of bring people behind the curtain a little bit. All this work that's going on, there's been input from all sorts of levels about this. I mean, trying to understand, what are the potential things to look out for when it comes to kind of dealing with this, correct?
Correct. And we're only just beginning, right? So this is a process that will go on for several years. But for example, with the Academic Student and Faculty Affairs Task Force, we had over 128 individuals involved in that process this year alone. And they produced over 44 artifacts from the different working groups and task force to really start to get us moving. And so only more of that is going to come as we continue to think about the areas where we can collaborate and innovate together, and then just bringing two different institutions into one institution together.
When receiving that feedback, was there anything that was surprising or anything that you realized that maybe this is what we're doing right, or things that should be prioritized now?
Yeah, I think what you get is a different lens from the different constituents that are a part of the process, right? Like our faculty, staff, and students are all thinking about this in slightly different ways. And so what's great about using these task force and working groups is bringing those people together so that they can hear where each other's areas of thought are, or where they think priorities are, or where there's going to be some complications and how we have to work through that. I think what's been really amazing is to see our students be so excited by this announcement and what this means for them and their future, and how they can see the innovation before we even talked about it, the innovation that's going to come by putting health sciences with that traditional academic institution, and just them getting really excited about the path that are going forward has just been a really amazing process.
Do you feel that a lot of the excitement comes from the new identity? The fact that this is now a merged institution, this is UT San Antonio. Now you have this group of students that get to leave their mark and help usher this university into the future.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. And I think they also just see the opportunities that are becoming available because of this integration and this new institution. And I think they feel the commitment from leadership and others to the mission. And what's been kind of unique in this process, oftentimes when two institutions are integrating or merging, they're coming from different aspects. And I think when we looked at our vision and mission statements, they were very similar. So the two institutions were committed to access and excellence. And so we're just multiplying that by coming together.
The idea of college has always been simple for a lot of people. I go to college, I get a degree. That degree helps me get a fantastic job, a fantastic career that will help me and help my family for future generations. we think about now the workforce aspect of all these things, of what's going to come from these academic opportunities and how these students can be incorporated. How does this integration help the university to expand their efforts to meet the workforce needs, especially here in San Antonio and throughout Texas?
Yeah, so I think by doing this, we're creating the future leaders for this city in many different fields and applications that we have. I mean, San Antonio's healthcare and bioscience economy is quite large. And so there's just more opportunities for us to partner and create that ecosystem that's going to support those two thriving areas of our community. But it's also thinking about how do we engage companies and agencies and nonprofits, and thinking about that from a learning aspect. Where are the ways that we can offer internships or research opportunities, or let students be out in what I'm going to call the field, but out in the real world and experiencing the things that they're learning in the classroom out in the real world, and taking that back to the classroom and really heightening the curriculum and the knowledge that they're studying. So I think our industry partners are key collaborators, and many of our colleges interact with them, and they're a part of their advisory boards, or they're mentoring our students to really hear what it's like to work in those fields, and really thinking about how we continue to look about the curriculum that we offer and how that meets the needs of the growing San Antonio economy.
When you talk about putting the students out there, first thing that comes to mind is the One Riverwalk space now, and that how the architecture students are going to have so many opportunities to connect with local architects, with the people that are there. They're now right next door to them.
Yeah, so we have One Riverwalk Place that we're opening this fall, and School of Architecture is moving into there, and it's going to give them opportunities to be around architecture firms in town, but also within that building itself. That building will have tenants in it, and our goal is really to align the academic programs that are in that building with the tenants, so it gives that opportunity for that real-world learning that we want to have happen. But this is also taking place as we continue to expand our downtown campus through San Pedro 1 and San Pedro 2. That will be the new home of our College for AI, Cyber, and Computing. And so we know that the tech corridor is down in that part of town, and it's really going to give those opportunities for the students as they're studying their courses to be really close to the industry and businesses that are in the areas that they want to work in, and have those internships and collaborative type of opportunities.
And one of the things I do want to emphasize, because I know in our previous conversations, we've talked about this and how proud you are of it, especially with the opportunities that students get, but the experiential learning opportunities and how vital that is for students to have, because it's one thing to have the degree, to have the knowledge, but to be able to have the hands-on application of it, to put it on a resume and to show an employer, hey, I know what I'm doing and I've done this before, goes a long way.
It really does. And I think also for the students that we serve, many first-generation students who don't have the network of students who have had family members that have been in college for, many years or many generations, it really gives them a leg up. And we also see that it helps in their general retention, their grades. It helps them complete college in a timely manner because they see what the next step looks like, and they're getting that experience and that application. So it's really key, and a really fundamental piece of our institution is to create these opportunities for our students, because we know that that's what is going to move them farther in their careers and move them to the life that they want and to envision to have. And so we really are focusing on this across the institution and giving these opportunities to our students in all of our majors.
I can tell how excited you are about everything that is ahead. And I know that this whole process has been a whirlwind. A lot of work, a lot of things going on, and trying to get things going, especially into this coming school year. But can you share, has there been a moment during this process that has made you say, this is why I do this work?
Yeah, so there's a couple. So one, I think I'll go back to what I talked about a little bit, is just the excitement of the students. The idea of what they see this future institution and the opportunities that it has. It really makes it why we do the work that we're doing. Is I'm here to serve our students and make sure that they have the opportunities that we want them to have. So that's been really exciting to see. And I think the other is the new colleagues that I get to work with. Each person in our leadership team has a passion and a commitment to this new institution and what we are building for San Antonio and for the state. And we're creating something that's truly special. And that work is complex, but knowing my colleagues believe in the vision makes me inspired to do this work every day.
I want you to think in the future. I know you're already doing that nowadays with the work that you're doing, but just 5-10 years from now, because the world changes and things are a lot different in that short period of time. What do you hope that the university will be nationally recognized for at that point?
Yeah, so I think first is I want to make sure that UT San Antonio is nationally recognized as an AAU institution, and we're really setting the examples for what other public research-intensive institutions are doing in higher education. We are really serving as a model of access and excellence, and that is what we'll continue to do in the future, but also showing how a robust public research university can drive both social mobility and discovery. I want us to be known for that. I want us to be known for leading innovation and student success, preparing leaders who are not only career ready, but also community focused and problem solvers. I think that just speaks to the commitment we have in creating those real world opportunities for our students, and being on the cutting edge of research and discoveries and creating real world applications that benefit the public. So I think all of those are attainable in the next 5 to 10 years. There's a lot of work ahead, but I think we have talented faculty and staff to support these initiatives and these opportunities. And we have wonderful students who are going to make this happen.
It's one thing to have talented people, but it's also another thing to have people that are excited just like you and to show the energy. And I think everybody can hear that in this podcast. I can hear it in your voice, and we're very excited to see what the future holds for UT San Antonio. Dr. Shipley, we really appreciate your time, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. I'm excited about the path ahead.
We appreciate Dr. Heather Shipley for joining us and providing her insights about the academic trajectory of UT San Antonio. As the university evolves academically, more doors now open for our students when it comes to entering the workforce. Learn how some of those workforce connections are already happening today when you join us for our next episode. This episode of Launchpad is brought to you by the Office of University Strategic Communications at the University of Texas at San Antonio. This podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Stay up to date with the latest news about UT San Antonio by visiting UT San Antonio today.